there wasn't a clear villain in Moana 2. Matangi was set up to be the villain, but then just let Moana go for no reason. I'm going to rewrite that vice into a virtue by making Matangi a twist villain, and that will be revealed through the greatest plot twist in Disney history. Before I explain my genius plot twist idea, most important part that makes or breaks a twist villain is their motive. In my previous video, I said Nalo could have been like the anti-Maui, where Nalo was also abandoned by his parents, but instead of coping with that by giving humans gifts like Maui did, he thinks humans are selfish and greedy creatures, so they deserve to suffer. Nalo then becomes the opposite of Maui, as he wants to take away all these primal joys and gifts Maui has given humans. If Nalo is the anti-Maui, then it would be really cool if Matangi would be the anti-Moana. Once upon a time, on an island far, far away, there was a little girl named Matangi. She had a deep fascination with the ocean. However, her parents wouldn't let her go voyaging for the same reason as Moana. It's dangerous, and she has to be the new chief. One day, the ocean moved for her. How special. Now she definitely knows what she's destined to do. But my friends, unlike Moana, she doesn't get a fairy tale story. Not at all. Her story takes a much darker turn. While Moana got to live a fairy tale when her ghost grandma helped get her a boat, Matangi was not so fortunate. She never got to explore the ocean despite her inner calling. Now, it may seem like a fun story of how a princess really wants to do a thing, but her strict parents won't let her. But without some magical event that kicks off the story, eventually there is a certain point where it's no longer a fun story. Imagine there is something you desperately desire to do, so much so that this desire isn't just curiosity. You feel that this desire comes from deep inside you, and doing that thing is what you were built for. It feels as if doing that thing is the very reason why God put you on the planet. Then you literally witness a supernatural event confirming it. But just because your parents are cowards, you'll never be able to experience doing that thing. You'll have to spend your entire life staring at it, witnessing it being right in front of your eyes 24/7 while hopelessly watching other people be able to freely do that thing. Judging from Matangi's age, which seems to be a lot older than Moana, Matangi must have suffered this mental torture for around 2 decades. Even when she grew up and became the chief, her parents and the villagers still didn't allow her to leave because the chief is a very important role they can't afford to lose. Just like politicians in real life need to be highly protected, sometimes even against their will. Living through 20 years of witnessing the key to unlimited happiness and fulfillment be right in front of you, but unobtainable for stupid reasons, is mental torture that's more than enough to drive anyone insane. And drive someone insane, it did. Matangi, finally fed up, stomps over to the ocean, but unfortunately with no boat. She yells, "I hate everyone and I hate you. Why do you make me want to voyage so much? It'd be too dangerous for me to voyage." A supernatural entity answers her cry for help, but the supernatural entity isn't the ocean this time, it's Nalo. Nalo shares her rage and hatred for humanity. Since being a god bent on hurting humans can get pretty lonely, Nalo would love an assistant. He uses his godlike abilities to bestow upon Matangi the power of sorcery. If Matangi helps him in his war against Maui and humanity, Matangi, now able to exact revenge on the people, does so. In the original Moana movie, it was revealed that Moana's tribe used to be voyagers, but because of monsters infesting the ocean, that made it too dangerous to voyage, so they stopped. What if the monsters they were talking about are Nalo and Matangi? Since people made Matangi suffered for so long, making her insane and evil, Matangi now wants to inflict the same suffering upon others by ensuring they never get to voyage. Additionally, the lost island they were searching for in Moana 2 could have been Matangi's island, which she destroyed after getting sorcery powers. We all know the writers of Moana didn't intend for there to be a sequel, then pulled a sequel out of their to make money. Having Matangi's motive give lore to the Moana universe would make the sequel seem planned and intentional, being more respectful to its audience. Not only that, but while Maui sings a song about bringing humans all these good things,
The tapestry here in my skin is a map of the victories I win.
while showing a tattoo of a monster, which implies that in order to get humans all these good things, he would have to engage in some combat. So it would make sense that Nalo and Matangi were the monsters who were trying to stop Maui from getting humans these gifts. And if that's not enough for you, he even says,
You're welcome for the islands I pulled from the sea.
Seems awfully familiar to the plot of Moana 2. Maui could have tried to lift Nalo's curse or Matangi's curse when she destroyed her island in the past. However, there is one loose end. In Moana 2, we see Maui tied up. In my previous video, I said this is because Nalo analyzed Maui's weakness from previous battles and used that to win. But I'm going to change that and say just when Nalo got Matangi to join the fight, Matangi, with her unmatched thirst for vengeance, helped turn the tide of Nalo's war with Maui. She was the one who helped Nalo capture Maui. All this definitely creates a better connection to the original Moana, giving the audience the message that the writers care about them and aren't just squeezing them for money. Speaking of, it would also be cool if there was a separate Moana spin-off movie for adults, but the story of Matangi. It would follow the same flow and pattern as the other Moana movies, but have a darker theme to it. Since the original Moana came out so long ago, most Moana fans would be grown up by now. They'd definitely love to see something like this. This would be one of the rare spin-offs that serve a purpose other than just to make money. Now, let's tie all this back to the psychology of writing a good twist villain I explained earlier. In Moana 2, when Matangi lets Moana go, the little piece of her backstory we will reveal is that she was once just like Moana. She faced the exact same problems as her. That connection was why Matangi let Moana go. Then, after it's revealed through my greatest plot twist idea ever, showing why letting Moana go wasn't as it appeared, and that Matangi is actually the bad guy, the darker side to her backstory I just explained will be revealed. Now it's time for me to reveal that plot twist idea. But first, we must drop a few subtle clues throughout the story so it doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere. And once again, we face the same gauntlet. Too little clues makes the twist unrealistic. Too much makes the twist predictable. So we need to find that perfect balance. Here are 3 subtle clues. See if you can guess the plot twist from these clues. Okay, so the movie goes exactly as it went until Matangi releases Moana. After some time, Moana notices that the ocean isn't moving, points it out, wonders why this is happening, but ignores it and continues her journey. Throughout the story, Moana gets surprisingly lucky even more than a normal Disney protagonist would. Unlike the previous movie, there are no fish or any creatures in the ocean we see through their journey. Were you able to guess it? Well, here it is. What if after Matangi let Moana go and the movie played out as it did with Moana overcoming all odds and saving the day, they realized it was all a fake world created by Matangi, in which the entire second half of the movie took place in, like what Bill created for Maple at the end of Gravity Falls. That would explain why they got so lucky, why the ocean didn't move, why there was no sea life, and why Matangi let them go so easily. Then they would somehow have to escape to the real world and fight the real Matangi and Nalo. It would be even cooler if after they defeated the fake Matangi and Nalo, the credits would play and people would think the movie's over. Then in the post-credit scene, they would figure out that they were in Matangi's fake world. The entire rest of the movie would then take place as a really long post-credit scene. Cool twist, right? Did you like it? Well, I know my plot twist ideas are usually hit or miss, but regardless of whether you liked it or not, everything I've taught you about creating a good twist villain and our setup for doing so is all still valid. Maybe the real plot twist was the friends we made on the way. Thanks for watching. Now, go watch my full rewrite of the entire Moana 2 movie's plot, characters, scenes, and more.